I am pumped for this video because we finally finished the Super Duty. And man, I have been working hard at this thing and I'm so happy with the way that it's turning out. The only thing we got to do is we got to throw it on the 37. So no, this is not the setup that's staying on this truck. Actually, this setup is going on my Super Duty, and the 37s that are on it are coming over here. But other than that, we've got our axle swap kit. We've got our coil buckets with the beautiful Carly King shocks on there, the springs, and our 4-lane kit, which is looking amazing on this thing. We still got to do the traction bars. And on the rear, we've got this thing on some 2017 leaves with our hanger kit. We have one of our blocks in there, but as you might be able to see, maybe from the video, the back needs to go down about 2 inches, give or take. That block is a block that I have basically just for testing setups, kind of like this. I'm figuring out exactly where, what size block I need to make. So gotta drop the rear end about 2 inches. But the truck is to a point where we can start test driving it, putting miles on it, taking pictures, which one of the things that we really gotta do is wash this thing because disgusting. Funny enough, we just got a new pressure washer in that box right there. We'll be breaking it in on this truck, giving it a nice little bath so that we can take it on a drive. We've got some fun adventures planned out for this thing. We're gonna go, for one, we're gonna drive it all the way down to Lake Havasu so that my buddy Leon, the owner, checks it out, make sure that he is happy with everything as much as we are. And it's also gonna allow us to take it on like a 3-hour road trip on some highways and all that, which we'll get that highway driving out of the way. And obviously this thing's on a Carly kit, so we gotta take it off-road, which is one of the things that we're gonna do. But man, we put so much work and effort into this truck. I mean, we developed an entirely new system for these trucks just on this one truck, which is what took us so long. We had to develop obviously the front kit and then the rear kit. And then we added the 4-link halfway through. So a lot of work has gone into this truck. Still not fully done. The only reason why it's off the lift right now is again because we got to test it. And since we got to powder coat the whole kit, like I've mentioned in previous videos, I figured that it'd be a good idea to build an entirely new kit, send that out to get powder coated, and my powder coat guy takes about 2-3 weeks, so that'll give us more than enough time to put miles on this truck, make sure that I'm happy with everything. Once the new kit comes in, we'll swap everything over. It's also going to allow me to do a couple little minor tweaks that I got to do with the coil buckets. I actually have to bring the top of the coil bucket back a little bit to have these things at a little bit of a better angle. They're not too bad right now, but it's enough to where it bothers me, and it's not a big change. So we're gonna bring them back just a little bit, and it should match that shock a little bit better. But man, again, like I said, so much work that we did to this truck, and I've already driven it kind of around the property, and it is feeling amazing. I honestly cannot wait to take this thing out on the road. Kind of show you guys how this thing does. One of the things that I did off camera that I'm actually really excited about how it came out was the rear reservoir mounts for those big King shocks. So let me show you. So it's obviously a little bit hard to see under here, but I talked to Leon and I asked him if he was gonna be keeping this, if he was gonna try and run a spare in this thing, which I didn't think so because again, he's gonna be running 37s. And 37s by themselves have a hard time fitting under these trucks, and you pair it with that big old 5-inch exhaust. So turned out to be the perfect spot for the reservoir mounts. So we put them in the old cross member where the spare tire used to go. And we chose this spot for a couple reasons. Obviously, it's really close to the shocks, so it'd be really easy. And for us OBS guys, the Super Duties, the 99 through 04, have both shocks facing the rear instead of the front. So that's kind of the setup with these things, which I actually like. But anyways, I digress. We used this spot for a couple reasons. One, it was really close to the shocks, so we didn't have to modify these hoses on these shocks, which by the way are ginormous. I mean, these are 2.5-inch body King shocks tuned by Carly, so they are some big shocks, big 9-inch reservoirs, again 2.5-inch, so really nice shock package on this truck, and we wanted to keep do something nice for the reservoir mounts, just like we did on the front end. So one of the reasons why I picked this spot is because, as you can see, there's already a whole bunch of holes, and like I've always said, I hate drilling holes unnecessarily on these trucks because there's holes everywhere. So we found a set of holes that would work, that was the correct spacing. So I made this reservoir mount that just bolts. We did have to enlarge the holes just a tiny bit to fit these 7/16 bolts, and honestly, they look great in my opinion. I'm gonna try and find them some new stickers so we can put them right here, but I think that looks pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of hidden. If you peek down to look at these nice shocks and our nice hanger kit, as you see right there, you will also see these nice reservoirs kind of just tucked out of the way. Really happy with how that came out. Honestly, after working on these last two Super Duties, I might be becoming a Super Duty fan. They're definitely really nice and just cool looking trucks overall, especially with them being single cab trucks. I'm a single cab guy. They're my favorite body styles, so it definitely helps that these things are single cabs. But yeah guys, now what we got to do is throw this on its proper set of wheels and tires, the 37s. So we're gonna pull this thing in closer to the lift. We'll pull my Super Duty in here and we'll swap tires, which again, I love those wheels. They are definitely one of my favorite style that Ford did for the Super Duty. So definitely excited to see them on my truck and see how it looks with the 33s. It's gonna look a little bit more sad, and we might have to throw some 35s. Luckily, I have some sitting over there, so not that bad of a deal. Hey guys, so we are finally driving the Super Duty. We just got done with it, took it out for its first test drive, and I mean, we literally just left the shop, but this thing is feeling so good. The combination of the 05 Plus axle swap with that Carly 4.5-inch pin top kit, our long arm 4-link kit, it feels phenomenal. And right now we're driving down with what I call my test drive loop. It's some of the worst roads that I can kind of find around the shop. And trust me, these roads will find death wobble or anything wrong that might be with your truck. And so far, so good. This truck is, like I said, driving amazing. I am really happy with how this thing is turning out, and I can't wait to put some more miles on it and just keep driving it, because again, great driving truck. Alrighty guys, and just like that, we are done with the 99 through 04 05 Plus Super Duty axle swap kit. And one thing that I wanted to show you is the versatility that you get with these kits. So over here, obviously we have this beautiful truck on the Carly 4.5-inch pin top kit, 37s, 4-linked truck, runs, drives amazing. Love this truck. But if all you want is just a better ride, better axles, better brakes, you can do the swap on stock suspension, stock radius arms, and still get a huge upgrade over your stock factory components, especially if you're going to be doing a 4-wheel drive swap as well. This is the way to go. Now this truck is on a 2-inch leveling kit, so it sits a little bit higher than a completely stock truck would. But again, just super cool looking truck. And that's the thing that I love about doing the axle swaps, is that there's a lot more options. You know, you can go high-end, really nice kits, but there's also dozens of other companies that offer lift kits for these axles. And again, with our kit, it'll allow you to use those components, those lift kits, or we also offer everything to be able to lift your truck. So again, super happy with how everything turned out. And the kits are going to be on the website right now. If you go to blowingdiesel.com, you'll be able to find the regular axle swap kit, the 4-link long arm kit, and all the individual components will be on there. So now the kits are actually on the website right now. However, they're not live yet. You'll be able to go to the website, see the kits, see the prices, but they're going live on Friday. That's when you're actually going to be able to purchase the kit. Now, what we can do right now is, if you go to the website, or if you have any questions whatsoever, drop them down below in the comments. We'll do our best to answer your questions or add it to the website. But yeah guys, again, really excited with how everything turned out. You let us know what you think. I know that you guys are just as excited as we are, so we can't wait. But yeah, guys, again, one more time, drop a comment, drop a like, share the video with your buddy that might have a Super Duty if you don't. And yeah, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.